Yes, I can see the slides moving.
Okay. Now, the content of our presentation will be looking at the purpose of government, different kinds of public service, citizens' expectation from government, emerging technologies and how we are using them to improve customer relationship by the other side of government, conclusion, and last line. Before we discuss this, let's try and look at what is the purpose of government. We're saying government, government, government. Who is government and what is government doing? Now, the purpose of government from our perspective is to improve the quality of life of the citizens, to create ministries, departments, and agencies of government, which are the agencies responsible for providing services to the citizens, most especially parastatals of government that have direct contact with the citizens. Thirdly, public service or government, which is supposed to be provided by one vis-a-vis the other, is the only contact that people have with government. So government, in a nutshell, is that organization or that outfit that is responsible for running the day-to-day affairs of its citizens, by extension, every indigent or resident of the country at a particular point in time. What is public service from our side? Now, public service is services provided by government to its people within its own jurisdiction, directly or indirectly by financing the provision of services to the citizens. Public service delivery refers to those activities of government institutions that are meant to improve and ensure the well-being of the society and the country at large. Public service is supposed to provide security and safety for citizens of the country, provide education, healthcare, transportation, etc., etc. Who is responsible for driving this public service organization or institution? They are called public servants. Public servants are everybody that is on the payroll of Nigeria at federal level, and I think it's applicable to all other countries in Africa and in the world. In Nigeria, when we come down to our level, the president, the vice president, secretary to the government, all political appointees are public servants. In the ministries, we have what we call civil servants. These are the core government workers that drive policies and guide and direct agencies of government that provide this direct service to the citizens. Public service and citizens. What is the relationship between government, public service, and citizens? Or what is the relationship between public service and citizens? If you look at that chart, we have the state at the top. As a state, we're supposed to fund the public service. Public service is supposed to provide services to its citizens. Citizens are responsible for paying taxes, which government uses to fund its activities. Now, there is a very good relationship that goes around. You pay tax, you obtain service. You are being paid salaries and your allowances and entitlements. At the end of it, you are expected to provide services to the citizens or your customers. In Nigeria, we have 3 key central agencies of government that manage the relationship between citizens and the public service, or between people and the public service. We have the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, responding to the directives of the President. We have the Office of the Head of Civil Service of the Federation, responding to the directives of the President, making sure that the public service the civil service is equipped, well trained to provide those services that the citizens are asking for. Then we have the Federal Civil Service Commission, which responds to the President too. They are responsible for appointment, promotion, recruitment, and discipline of federal public servants. This is a similar structure that we have in the states in Nigeria. But what we have there is not secretary to the government, but a secretary to state government, head of civil service of the state, and chairman, state civil service. What are the kind of services that we render to the public as public servants? We are responsible for civic responsibilities. We provide water, sanitation, we construct roads, we clear canals. We provide basic minimum services, housing, life cycle, certificates, rationing of services, and provision of resources for citizens, human development services, health, nutrition, education, welfare services, pension management, protection of child or girl child, children, and women within the country. Now, because we are set up to provide service to citizens, at a stage we call ourselves servants of the citizens. And I have seen in Nigeria where a lot of political appointees say they are servant governors, servant ministers, servant president, servant this and this, just to emphasize the importance of citizens vis-a-vis the work we render as public or civil servants. The citizens expect us to provide access to very healthy life in the country with user-friendly access points in ministries, departments, and agencies of government. We are supposed to provide result-oriented services that focus on outcomes. We're supposed to provide efficient services with timelines for deliveries, with set procedures, and most importantly, communicate with the citizens on the services we render and get feedbacks on the quality of service they have been enjoying from ministries, departments, and agencies of government. Most importantly, citizens expect government workers to be transparent, accountable in the way they deliver or they render service to its citizen. One of the work that we're doing in this agency is to ensure transparency and accountability in the management of resources of government, more specifically around public financial management. What are the experiences of citizens vis-a-vis public sector reforms or public service in Nigeria? Citizens' engagement can be viewed from a triple position involving engagement for the purpose of contribution, organization builder, or an empowering process. Active citizenship gives the right to hold others accountable, and accountability is the process of engaging in participation. Thus, the concept of citizenship encompasses social rights, social responsibilities, and social accountability to the citizens of the country. Citizens' engagement goes beyond conventional public consultation by enabling citizens to do more than a simple voice service or an option. It also allows them to participate in the deliberation process leading to decision-making. Now, what this means is citizen is at the center of public service delivery, and most of our projects, programs are supposed to be vetted, approved, and checked by citizens before, during, and after the completion of the process of rendering that service. We need to engage the citizens, and that is why we have signed on to OGP, Nigeria as a country. Beyond that, we have committed ourselves into freedom of information, which has become a law in Federal Republic of Nigeria. Citizens' engagement is appropriate at all stages of policy development processes and is best seen as an itinerary process serving to infuse citizens' values and priorities through the policy cycle. That means formulation of policies and programs of government is now subject to adoption by the citizens through the civil society groups that work with government. In general parlance, citizens' engagement connotes the two-way interaction between citizens and government. This approach gives citizens a stake in decision-making to improve the intermediate and final development outcomes in public policy and programs. The approach we have been using in Nigeria is to mainstream citizens' engagement in public policy decisions, that which is guided by these four principles, where results-oriented and focused, engaging through the operational cycle, strengthening country systems, specific in its content, specific, and it is gradual. Growing evidence confirms that under the right conditions, citizens' engagement can help government achieve improved development results. Effective engagement is also affected by social, political, economic, environmental, cultural, geographical, and other factors such as gender dynamics. Citizens' engagement models and mechanisms in Nigeria. What have we done to engage with the citizens as a country or public service? We were involved in a lot of public hearings where we give citizens the opportunity to talk with the leaders of government, to talk with the legislators, and emphasize their positions on what they expect to get from the public service, and where there are shortcomings, they hold us responsible and demand for excellent service. Another way of engagement with the citizens is through the creation of interactive portals. This agency have led the deployment of electronic portals on websites of all ministries, departments, and agencies of government to ensure that we have that forum of engagement. They ask questions. We are under the FOI law compelled to respond to their questions, but not only questions, giving them the privilege to ensure there is value for money in the monies that are being released and allocated to ministries, departments, and agencies of government. Towards this, we're ensuring that government's policy on e-government is implemented 100%, and through that, electronic data record management systems are in place in all ministries, departments, and agencies of government, all in the attempt to open the public service and give the citizen that space to engage with government. Similarly, different agencies of government have developed powerful electronic portals to provide systematic feedback to public agencies from users of public services, either through their websites or other other outlets of engagement. Internet accessibility and digitalization, these are all some of the key reforms that we're driving, and which are part of the e-government master plan of the federal government to digitalize public service delivery, to make sure that we're set for 21st century digitalized public service, providing that public service, but most importantly, to leverage on technology to give citizens access to government and government activities. In 2011, Nigeria signed the FOI Act, which has become a law, which gives the citizens the privilege and the opportunity to ask questions on government activities, especially as it relates to finances. And under the law, every public servant is compelled to respond to inquiries, to questions, requests for information from citizens. If you fail to do that, after 2 weeks, you are liable and you can be taken to court and be prosecuted. We have for long signed on to the OGP, Open Government Partnership, sometimes in 2016. One of the objectives of Nigerian membership into OGP was to ensure inclusiveness in governance through the participation of citizens in government. Town hall meetings are being encouraged to be held at the federal, state, and local government levels. And that is another forum where citizens are given the privilege to hear from top leadership of government, ask questions, and demand for improvement where there are shortfalls in implementations of programs of government. Another model that we use is perception surveys and impact assessments on other reforms initiated by this agency or other agencies of government. And the way we do this, we work with the civil society groups and organizations to evaluate the performance of government, ministries, departments, and agencies of government. And at the end of the day, policy briefs are developed to guide government on what they need to do to respond to the cries and challenges that citizens are facing in assessing services. Another thing that we have developed or initiated to engage the citizen is a seminar that we call Lunchtime Seminar. This is a forum that we hold every once in a month, where we invite heads of ministries, departments of and agencies of government, the media, civil society, private sector. And the essence of that is for the heads of agencies to give the scorecard of their mandate, what they have achieved, what are their challenges and problems, and give the citizens the opportunity to ask, and most importantly, critique the heads of agencies where they are not performing well. Another thing that we have done, we have developed what we call a self-assessment tool, which is an IT-based tool developed by this agency, aimed at ensuring assessing the health status of government agencies, their weaknesses, and to see how government can work with the civil society groups to address some of the challenges and the problems that we identify in the course of assessing them. Another thing that we have developed is called scorecard for ranking of websites of ministries, departments, and agencies of government. Under this policy, we are trying to have a one shop, one color, one structure website of all ministries, departments, and agencies of government. And by the law, which has been passed by government, every ministry, department, and agency of government must provide information on all their activities on the website, so that citizens, without going to the ministries, can engage with them, demand for service, assess some of the services that they render. We cannot have a good output if we don't have a well-equipped human resource. To address that, the Office of the Head of Civil Service of the Federation has come up with an innovation that is called EPIC, which is looking at culture as a tool for quality public service delivery. To make us respond to what the previous speaker has said, making us to understand that business is living, that the customer is king. Whatever we're doing is aim at making sure that we give the best to the customer. And customers at the public service side are supposed to be center of our activity. Because of that, this innovation is looking at citizens as a center of culture, in a way that we are changing the culture and the attitude of public servants to the way and manner we treat citizens who are our customers. We have also introduced performance management systems and service delivery, which are aimed at holding public servants accountable and demanding for service, and their promotions, their welfare, everything is linked to how well they're able to meet their targets, working with the key performance indicators that have been provided and timelines which will reduce bias in performance rating, assessments, and promotion. Performance management system, this is just a chart around what we have done in Nigeria public service. We have what we call the National Strategy on Public Service Reforms that has 3 pillars. Pillar 3 is looking at public financial management. And what we have done there is to see how we use IT to give citizens the access to the services that we render, hold us responsible, fight corruption, improve transparency. Under that, we've been able to reform tax and pension systems in Nigeria. We have introduced what we call GIFMIS, IFSAS, IPPIS, Treasury Single Account. These are all IT tools that have been provided to enable government track activities of civil servants or public servants and give the citizens the space to also track our services and aim at ensuring transparency and fighting corruption in the manner we deliver public service. What is the bigger picture? To look at looking at the space of customer and the modern trends in public service delivery. We are looking at total digitalization of customer service in Nigeria. In Nigerian public service, we have done quite a lot using technology. Now, payment systems have been digitalized. Most of our activities are done digitally. What are the emerging technologies we are relying on to improve customer relationship in Nigeria? Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, virtual reality, augmentation reality, cybersecurity, cloud and edge computing, distributed ledger technologies, blockchain. We're emphasizing a lot on use of blockchain, where we have one source and a lot of people will have the access to information, to data, and hold us responsible where we are not doing well. As a government, we have seen that use of IT has improved our relationship with our customer. The customer is given the privilege to work with us better, especially through the use of the online facilities that we have provided. We have increased participation in governance by citizens. We have improved internet efficiency and productivity, lessened the burden on IT, better collaboration between citizens and government, reduced cost of governance, cost of labor, and we have become more innovative. Importantly, the public service transition from traditional to digital services have seen benefits extending beyond public service delivery in Nigeria. Going forward, to improve public service delivery, vis-a-vis placing citizens at the center, we've been trying to proactively communicate our strategies to the citizen, reduce red tapeism, bureaucracy, dealing with corruption and improving accountability through digitalization of our public performance management, putting in place strategic public service planning policies in place for the engagement between citizens and government, sound human resource policy to have the human resource available to provide the 21st century public service that we need to provide. To conclude, public sector in Nigeria has sought to improve customer satisfaction, but raising additional resources or diverting existing resources to achieve this has met with resistance. Thanks to recent advancement in digital technologies, coupled with new insights from behavioral science, governments worldwide are pursuing citizens' experience more seriously. Government leaders who are looking to make a triple value impact, improving customer satisfaction, increasing efficiency, enhancing mission effectiveness, and increasing focus on citizens' experience as a core function of government. Quality service delivery is the reason for public service. We are set up to provide quality service, and we always say we will not go to rest until the public service that we render is able to turn around the fortunes of the citizens of our country. Public servants must recognize that they have customers, and the customers are our citizens. They should also know that service is what they offer themselves for, and service is what the citizens are entitled to expect from them. We have other innovations of government that have come in place to give the civils, the citizens, the space to engage with government. The recent M&E framework that has been developed is placing a lot of emphasis on citizens' engagement and citizens' experience. The National Development Plan that we are driving is also focusing on that. And the OGP secretariat that we have and various anti-corruption agencies have been set up to improve the quality of service we deliver so that the citizen will get the best out of our government. In a nutshell, this is where we are. Thank you very much for your attention.